A considerable lot of us have known about cryptids, seen the web posts and discussions declaring their reality or just kidding about them. There have been exceptionally delivered TV arrangement and even a couple of logical undertakings to clarify the innumerable, consistently developing measure of sightings of these problematic and regularly bizarre legends of animals, looking for an answer and a clarification that may have been there from the beginning.
Bigfoot, Yeti, Sasquatch, various names for one fundamentally the same as being an enormous, shaggy primate with huge feet and a supposedly tricky and smart nature, absolutely perhaps the most well-known or notorious, contingent upon who you're asking cryptids ever. With potentially the most noticeable quality in mainstream society or basically American culture itself, other than UFOs. Many sightings happen each and every year, with many demonstrated fabrications and instances of misidentification, yet at the same time a feeling of genuine secret with regards to this announced relative of our own. Anyway, you may ask, what could be behind it? The appropriate response, a ton of the time, is amazingly basic: bears. Or then again, on the other hand, holds on for mange. Mange. Close by other ailments that inconceivably adjust a creature's appearance are regularly the guilty party of cryptid sightings, and with a ton of Bigfoot proof ending up being ones remaining by bears. And numerous instances of sightings in which the got Bigfoot was really a bear that lost pieces of its hide and acted peculiarly because of mange. There hasn't generally been anything in the method of genuine proof that recommends anything different. Some individuals, nonetheless, actually accept that Bigfoot is out there, or, all the more explicitly, that Bigfoot-like sightings can be clarified by residual populaces of Gigantopithecus, a huge chimp thought to be terminated that may even now stay in select gatherings in specific pieces of the world. Another infamous cryptid, the Chupacabra, has been important for chiefly Puerto Rican, Mexican, and general Mesoamerican fables and legends, with a name that signifies goat sucker in Spanish. It's acquired then a little consideration and contention over its numerous long stretches of ubiquity. The arrangement with this one, in any case, is much less complex and more provable than the one with Bigfoot, yet it's to a great extent the equivalent: mange. That's right, mange, canines with mange, to be explicit. While there have been numerous accounts of ranchers losing goats to this animal, most sightings go out to simply be canines or coyotes with a condition that makes them look a lot like beasts: sketchy, halfway eliminated hide, weird appearance, expanded action around evening time because of skin affectability, and weight reduction from diminished usefulness emerging from the condition cause these helpless animals to appear to be a great deal like beasts when you experience one out of the loop. While not treated as truly as some different creatures of fables, the jackalope has been around longer than most. A straightforward idea, a hare-like being with prongs, is positively a genuinely basic idea to handle, and one individuals out in fields may have seen a lot of times. Also, truly, they may have, as, once more, an appearance-modifying illness is the guilty party. Known as the Shope papilloma infection, or SPV, it tragically causes leporids, as in, hares constantly to develop keratinous, destructive tumors on their external body, now and then taking after horns, little tusks, or considerably other unusual, paranormal-appearing looks, with the disease for the most part being more unmistakable in regions around the head. It's nothing unexpected that specific individuals have seen bunnies with this condition and, not understanding the reason for it, credited it to an alternate animal types or maybe altogether extraordinary being. Totally, in any case, the appropriate response is a disillusioning no. And jackalopes are tragically another debilitated creature. Another exceptionally old legend, the kraken, and other, comparable creatures, that is, Gigantic squid or octopus-like animals that pulverize transports and hide in the profundities have been subjects of stories nearly insofar as cruising has been near, and ends up. While the stories were hued in excess of a piece, they depended on something altogether genuine and nearly as inconceivable. The colossal squid is a ton like what the legends portray, a gigantic ocean animal that, while doesn't commonly demolish ships, seems as though it should have the option to. And there have still been records of it doing exactly that, however they're normally unconfirmed. These monstrous creatures are assessed to have the option to develop as extensive as 14 meters and weigh 700 kilograms, that is 46 feet and 1,500 pounds. Which makes the credited stories very obvious looking back. This one is somewhat abnormal, as a matter of fact, as the clarifications of this one rely totally upon our meaning of monster as, it could be said, we as of now have monster arachnids. The Goliath bird-eater tarantulas and certain types of huntsman creepy crawly may develop as extensive as 30 centimeters or 1 foot in leg span. Some would as of now state that is totally enormous. On the off chance that we need to go that past that, in any case, things aren't looking excessively acceptable or, to any perusers with arachnophobia, things really look very stunning. As bugs are restricted in size, and our Goliath bird-eaters and enormous huntsman bugs might be the biggest insects we actually observe. Insects need appropriate lungs, and in this manner their size is tied to a great extent to the oxygen content noticeable all around. Even the biggest 8-legged creature in ancient occasions that we've found haven't developed to over a meter long. And until they create lungs or the oxygen noticeable all around increments essentially, things are remaining as such, so no, Goliath creepy crawlies, other than the genuine ones we have on Earth, are not genuine. The Mongolian death worm has additionally had something reasonable of discussion in late history. An amazing animal that has been essential in Mongolian fables for quite a while, called Algoikerkhoi, signifying internal organ worm by local people. It's depicted as a colossal red worm that occupies the Gobi Desert, ventures underground, has a fearsome jaw, and the capacity to spit toxin or even make a ground-breaking electric release, and that after contacting it, you bite the dust immediately. There have been numerous examinations to locate this alarming animal, with the fruitful discoveries of a snake. When introduced to local people who have seen the animal, they asserted it was a similar one they're seeing a little while ago, when, as a general rule, it was only a snake called the Tartar sand boa. Eryx miliaris, an enormous snake that surely looks twisted yet is, indeed, simply a snake that is not red and has no powerful capacities. Another American social symbol, in any event to a few, the Mothman is maybe much more absurd than the jackalope, yet it has an exceptionally solid culture behind it. Considered by numerous individuals to not be a cryptid but instead an outsider or heavenly being, as the name suggests, it's regularly depicted as the crossbreed of a moth and a man, a huge, winged, inbreeding-like humanoid that is portrayed as a sign that either cautions us of awful what might be on the horizon or causes them himself, with supposed sightings at numerous shocking occasions. For example, the deplorable breakdown of the Silver Bridge in Point Pleasant. The truth, nonetheless, is that, beside the strange idea, a few sightings have been genuine, however likewise unbelievably simple to clarify. Horse shelter owls are sensibly enormous, winged feathered creatures with puzzling appearances and eyes that could clarify what individuals depict as the Mothman's startling, shining eyes in obscurity. These fowls love relinquished zones, and keeping in mind that the locating of an animal dwelling place owl behind misfortunes may be a sign without anyone else. The human psyche absolutely has a method of ascribing impartial things to awful occasions, looking for a purpose for misfortune. The Jersey Devil, as its name unmistakably recommends, is an insidious amazing animal said to occupy New Jersey, the Pine Barrens of South Jersey explicitly. generally portrayed as a bipedal animal with wings and a warm-blooded creature-like head, for example, a ponies or goats, regularly portrayed with hooves, a tail, and stories of a frightful shout. The legend has seen numerous varieties since its origin, going right back to the beginning of America, as we probably am aware it today. While the picture is abnormal and alarming, the clarification again is by all accounts very basic, as the Jersey Devil is by all accounts a story made up by English pioneers, and while the legend has persevered for more than 250 years, there hasn't been a solitary affirmed locating and, even beside the senseless idea being a telling sign, we can really securely say that this is a fabrication, and many accept that the animal depends on the sandhill crane, a huge, tall, substantial-bodied winged creature with no powerful perspectives. However, absolutely stunning in its own right, with a rearing reach that stretches out into New Jersey. Mermaids are often considered as delightful, magnificent animals, half fish, half people, oftentimes however not generally portrayed as ladies. It's no big surprise they've been a mainstream figure in dream and mainstream society in late many years. Likewise, picking up a fair measure of genuine foothold because of an Animal Planet narrative that professed to manage the idea of genuine mermaids, yet was quickly demonstrated to be totally phony. While very intriguing, and absolutely wonderful, glorious animals in numerous folktales, however frequently unnerving on account of alarms, detestable animals that baited mariners out just to slaughter them, the fact of the matter is neither this honorable nor this frightening. Truth be told, it's somewhat near being something contrary to both. The truth of mermaid sightings is frequently credited to two creatures, one more than different. Manatees and dugongs, enormous-bodied marine vertebrates. Grand in their own privilege, yet nothing near the possibility of excellent and maybe fiendish fish-followed ladies laying on rocks out adrift. These creatures are clearly more genuine and maybe relatively baffling. Completing the rundown with Nessie, otherwise called the Loch Ness Monster, possibly the most acclaimed cryptid and legendary animal ever. It's anything but difficult to envision that Nessie hasn't figured out how to evade a lot of potential and sensible creature misidentifications, and indeed, it truly hasn't. Expressed to be a since quite a while ago necked marine creature, for the most part portrayed as being amazingly near a wiped-out plesiosaur in appearance. The animal is said to possess Loch Ness in Scotland, a huge, profound loch that has started numerous individuals' dreams of an old animal that was just dared to be terminated actually sneaking there. The truth, nonetheless, is again ascribed to a straightforward creature, eels. Numerous specialists believe that sightings of Nessie might be clarified essentially by sightings of enormous eels. And with the manner in which its celebrated pictures look and numerous sightings are portrayed, they fit the depiction of a thin eel well overall. The Loch Ness Monster and its numerous sightings have additionally been apparently accurately ascribed consistently to feathered creature and boat wakes. And even the possibility of a somewhat cryptid-like creature, the Greenland shark, advancing toward the lake. With many lies and basic creature misidentification, Nessie, anyway astounding, isn't looking genuine all things considered.